What is up, nation? Today let's talk about new Mario Galaxy 2 rumors and some new details when it comes to the 3D Mario All-Stars collection launching this week. Alright everyone, so it is launch week for Mario 3D All-Stars Collection. It'll be launching September 18th, which is this coming Friday. The physical edition is already selling out in different retailers, so I would grab that copy soon if you don't want to have to pay the outrageous prices on eBay. It's probably going to continue to be a hard game to find whenever we launch into, the fourth quarter and holiday season. It's obviously going to be something that, because it's a limited run release, there's a bunch of hype around people, getting their copy, and so it's causing this huge supply and demand thing. So just a heads up on that. Pre-order it if you haven't already, or at least try to go find it day one in a store before it sells out everywhere. But the reason we're talking about this game today and that we're making this video is that Nintendo has went ahead and released a new 2-minute and 30-second trailer as of today, and then they also did like a little We Played Mario 3D All-Star Collection with a couple of their members that work for them on their YouTube channel, and they dove through some different parts of the gameplay. But then there was actually one piece that fans were really talking about, was that there was a clip where Mario's Super Mario Galaxy 2 theme played during the opening of one of the portions for a Mario 3D collection animation. So I don't know if that really means that we're gonna, maybe that was them hinting at Galaxy 2, but we're gonna talk through those details and if we think we'll see Galaxy 2 come to the Switch. And then we're also gonna talk through, there was a portion of the gameplay that showed Mario 64, but in widescreen, and it could have just been cropped down. But there's also some speculation that maybe there's a widescreen setting in the game that we're not aware of yet, or that they're not really pushing that information out. Maybe it'll be updated on the back end, but we're going to talk through all those details now. Before we do dive into everything, I did want to invite everybody real quickly just to subscribe to Sunbro Nation today and join the nation if you haven't already. Do so by subscribing below. Go ahead and hit the like button on this video if you do enjoy the content, and then turn on the bell notification icon so you'll be updated as all the new videos release. I will continue to keep you guys informed here on the channel. So with that, let's dive into the news. So the first thing we're going to talk about is whether or not Nintendo just teased us that Mario Galaxy 2 might be coming to the Nintendo Switch at some point. The reason that this popped up in the news is the fact that they released a We Played Mario 3D All-Stars video 2 days ago on September 12th, and it was something that a lot of fans immediately noticed, that at the opening of that video, when you see the graphic come up for the Mario 3D All-Stars collection, it actually had the title music for Super Mario Galaxy 2, which is a really interesting move for them to do. Now, it could have just been somebody not thinking that through in editing, but obviously Nintendo fans are known for reading into things, and the fact that they would include that in their Nintendo branded channel official video that got uploaded makes a lot of fans stop and think, well, maybe we are going to see this come to the Switch at some point, and maybe that's their way of just kind of starting that conversation. We obviously only have a few Nintendo titles that are really going to launch that we know about so far in the fourth quarter. We have Hyrule Warriors that just got announced with the Breath of the Wild prequel in the story, so that's really exciting. We have Mario 3D All-Stars, and we have Pikmin 3 Deluxe. But other than that, we don't have much in the way at all of Nintendo first-party content. So is there a chance that they rushed out this Mario 3D All-Stars collection to come out in September, so that way it could hit the Mario 35th anniversary collection date, but then maybe they have a Mario Galaxy 2 standalone game or an HD edition, whatever they're going to end up calling it. Maybe they, by some miracle, add in new content to it. I'd be surprised if we see that, but I do think that Mario Galaxy 2 is probably a big enough game on its own that you could just repackage it and port it to the Switch and sell it as a standalone title. So there's a chance that maybe we're going to see that come before the end of the year or at some point next year. There's really no telling. We know that Mario 3D World is not going to launch until 2021, so maybe the Nintendo fans that noticed that Mario Galaxy 2 is missing from this collection have spoken loud enough, and maybe that Nintendo has actually been planning on releasing that at some point in the future, and they're deciding to do it before the end of this year. Now, whether or not that's the case, we won't really know for sure. At this point, it is all rumors and speculation, but it is kind of interesting to me. I think my theory on it is I'd be surprised if it was just an oversight, but one thing I did want to talk through is on their newest video that they just released today, they had another 2-minute and 30-second trailer that walked through some of the different gameplay mechanics and details of the game, kind of like a more official advertisement announcement since we're getting closer to the launch of this game. They pumped out another video today, and that same animation where it was showing the Mario 3D All-Stars collection did not have that Galaxy 2 theme in there. So that could have easily just been Nintendo's editing team making a mistake, and now they've pulled that back and they've swapped it out with a different soundbite that doesn't tie to another specific Mario game. So it's definitely in the possibility that it's that. But then we have seen Nintendo pull some stuff like this in the past where they hint at something by including a soundbite or by, you know, making a reference towards a game, and then they say, oh no, that game's not in existence, and then it turns around and it just so happens that it was in existence. They're just obviously not allowed to talk about their titles before they're officially announced. So it could be something like that. I certainly hope it is. My hope is that we do actually see this game released before Christmas time of this year. I do think it could be a killer title, even as a standalone. Maybe they're nice and they do it for $40, but knowing Nintendo, we'd probably just pay a full $60 for a Galaxy 2 port to the Switch. But if they did anything like extra content or just, you know, any kind of notable revisions to the gameplay or changes, which it doesn't really need, it just needs a better resolution. If they add in new content of any kind, though, I think it's definitely worth the $60 price point. And it is one of the longer Mario games that's out there. There's like 240 plus stars you can get in it, a ton of unique stages. I mean, it definitely is one of the Mario titles that takes the longest to 100%. So we are getting a ton of content with Galaxy 2. So I can totally see them doing that as a re-release. You know, it stood out to me too whenever they originally announced this game and they showed all the Mario games that you can now play on the Switch, and almost all of the mainline titles for Mario are there. Really the only one that's missing at this point that had a mainline release is that Mario Galaxy 2. I mean, you know, maybe taking out the DS titles that were bigger hits for him, but I mean, outside of those, you can play almost all the mainline Mario games on the Nintendo Switch at this point, which is a really cool thing to do. Obviously, it's been such a great seller for Nintendo, and it's the first combination of a portable and home console. It makes a lot of sense to bring a bunch of those Mario titles to the Switch. So I hope we do see that same treatment with Galaxy 2. I think it may even be something that makes sense that, you know, maybe post this 3D Mario All-Stars collection run, if we don't see it released this year like I'm hoping for, you know, maybe at the end of them selling this until the March 31st, whenever they kill the collection, it is going to be something that this will not be available past that date, and they've gone on record saying that. So maybe at that point they break these titles up for individual digital release, and then maybe we see Mario Galaxy 2 come onto the scene at that point, you know, as a standalone title, and it just wasn't part of this 3D collection, but it was something that they always intended to bring over, but they wanted to do it as its own individual release. And then now, guess what? You can't get all those Mario games in one package anymore, but you can still purchase them individually at their respective prices. So maybe this is something where Galaxy 2 launches alongside of that lineup because it wasn't quite ready. Who knows what the final word is going to be, but I think regardless, there's a lot of reason to be excited for the potential to see Galaxy 2 on the Switch at some point. And the other thing we're going to talk about is the possibility for widescreen support when it comes to Mario 64. This was obviously missing when Nintendo initially unveiled it at their Nintendo Direct event for Mario's 35th anniversary. It was clear that every single clip of Mario 64 was only displayed in a 4:3 aspect ratio, so many fans, including myself, noticed that right away and were, you know, honestly a little bit disappointed, at least in my camp. I definitely felt like it was something that we should have seen included. We've seen PC modders pull it off with you know, little to no effort. It's an extremely easy fix to patch into the game. So the fact that Nintendo didn't at least include that was a little bit troublesome. I thought it's one of the easier things they could do to make the game look more modern. But that's not what we got, and we did just see that everything had been enhanced and cleaned up. I mean, the textures look better, but we had nothing in the way of widescreen support, and it is something that is kind of surprising considering that nobody has a 4:3 TV anymore, or just about nobody has one. So I'd be surprised if anybody's playing on a 4:3 aspect ratio as their primary gaming setup. So I think that it's a big miss on Nintendo's part to not fill up that whole screen. I mean, even on the Switch itself, when you're playing in handheld mode, that's, you know, going from an already smaller, like 6.1-inch screen that's on the Switch, and now you have to cut that down even further for Mario 64 gameplay. It just seems like one of those simple fixes that they should have included. But the reason that it's in the news at all, or in being talked about by fans, is because there is now a clip of the transition video of when Mario's going from 64 to Sunshine to Galaxy, and all of them are in the same Super Mario, or all of them in gameplay, in-game engine are in the same 16:9 aspect ratio. So it's a you know, started the conversation of, will Nintendo add this in as an update maybe after the game launches, or maybe it's in the settings and we don't even know it's there. But I'm surprised. I'd be surprised if it's in the settings, because I think if it was in the settings, they probably would have talked about it already. But the fact that we saw a clip of it means that it's possible that they're thinking about that. And then on the other side of that coin, it's also possible that they just cropped into the footage so that way to keep consistency with the rest of the other games, and so it wasn't so jarring for a quick transition whenever they were going through the trailer. So it's definitely a possibility that that's all it was, but I do think that it's worth fans speaking up about to Nintendo. I think it's something they could easily patch into the game after release, so I hope we do see that. But I'd love to know your guys' thoughts on if we're going to see widescreen support, or maybe I'm just, you know, maybe I'm more bothered by this than other people. So I'd love to know if you care that it's going to be running in 4:3 only, or if it's something that, you know, you really do want the widescreen support and you're just going to have to deal with it in 4:3, because that's kind of where I'm at this point. I'm still going to play through the game. I'm still sure I'm going to enjoy it, but I am going to be missing the fact that I could actually run it in a better resolution and a better aspect ratio on my PC, as opposed to playing this brand new $60 version of the game that Nintendo's releasing. But share your opinions with me on that, because I would just kind of like to know where everybody else is at. Thanks so much for watching the video today, everyone. I do truly appreciate you guys sticking around till the end. I did want to get a conversation started back and forth with you guys. Let me know what you think about these new pieces of information. Do you think we're going to see Mario Galaxy 2 come to the Switch at some point? Do you think this was Nintendo's way of maybe hinting that they're not quite done celebrating the 35th year of Mario? Or do you think that it's something that it was just an oversight by their editing team and it's really not too likely? Also would love to know about widescreen support and your opinions on that for Mario 64. Do you think there's some kind of option that we're going to get, or maybe patched into the game later based off some fans not being happy with only having 4:3? I would love to get that conversation started as well. And then I did want to invite everybody one last time just to join Sunbro Nation today. If you haven't already, do so by subscribing below. Go ahead and hit the like button if you did enjoy this video, and turn on your bell notification icon so that way you're notified every time we cover new Nintendo news on this channel. So I look forward to talking with you guys more. You all have a great day. Sunbro Nation out.